everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. Anthony Mark, first in the house, says it's going to be an entertaining live stream. Enjoyed the episode when it aired. This will be an amazing live stream, he says. Mike Richards here from Columbus, Ohio. 47 Yorktown is here saying Paper Moon is no threshold. Miss Moneypenny is here. And of course, she, as always, sends her message to Horny Mark. So, yeah, Danny's supposed to be here. So, hopefully he'll be here any minute now. Looks like he's winding his way in. I hear you in the background, but I don't see you on the main screen there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera.
What does it say? Oh, you know what I bet it is? I think it's your guest cameras on top of your regular camera. Yep, there we go.
Okay.
So check out the little widget that I found right below you.
Oh, cool. So we can see the chat.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if it works for both of our chats or just mine. I just added the widget and it seemed to auto-connect, and since we're both listed, I'm assuming it's going to pick up chat for both.
Yeah, well, it is. This is going to be an entertaining live stream. I enjoyed this episode when it aired. Is from my channel. So,
oh, okay. So, well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And let me see. I do need to adjust that text size a little bit, though, because it's a little hard for me to read. What did Ervik say? Solitaire, they sent it to residential something. Oh, your sticker, they sent it to the wrong place again? What is up with, dude? And Stan wants to know if it helps to split the audience. Not particularly, but Danny wanted to,
No, this is just so I can have content on my channel. I've been so busy with work and the move and outside clients, rebuilding my own business. I haven't actually got to. The plan is, and I've actually started, but the plan is I'm going to be clipping out stuff, making shorter videos, posting those on my channel to get some separate content. But life, man. It's not like I'm getting paid to do this. This is more of a hobby for fun, for the love of it, for now. Oh, speaking of getting paid. Rocking the Criticalist shirt. Let me do my shilling real quick. We'd like to thank the sponsor of today's show, Criticalist. Oh. If you like this Criticalist swag I'm sporting, go to shop.criticalist.com. Pick up some swag for yourself. Speaking of, in a little bit, I'll present a trivia question. More goodies up for grabs for the correct answer.
Right.
I got a message from Planet X on Twitter. He sent me I wish he'd have just tweeted it. That'd have been cool. But he sent me a picture of his little prize pack, thanking me for it.
Oh,
Professor Brainy Specs has done the same. So still haven't heard from the other fella yet, but I did tag him on Twitter. Hopefully he gets back to me, and I'll drop that in the mail to him.
You should save those pictures they send so we can put them on our website whenever you build it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. They're in my DMs, so yeah, I'll just snag them from there.
So yeah, so today is a little different. It's kind of funny because Alex actually isn't here yet. That just, of course, makes all the sense in the world. But today we're going to do things a little differently, and we are talking about a singular episode of Deep Space Nine, and
a very good episode. I actually wish we'd have watched it together for the Patreon. This would have been nice to watch with you.
Well, I don't know, because you might get mad at me a couple points. So what is your hot take then on It's Only a Paper Moon?
My hot take. My mom's in the chat. Hold up.
Yes.
Gosh darn it, I miss good Star Trek. That's my hot take.
Yeah.
After all the effing garbage you've been making me watch, shoving down my throat.
Yeah, you make it sound like it's just like my
This-
evil plan to make you watch bad
Watching
Star Trek.
this was like cuddling up under a warm blanket next to your lover and just enjoying a nice fire. You know, it was just so nice. Just
Getting a
so
little
nice.
Dutch oven going on.
Well, it's better than a Dutch butter.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Dutch butter? Dutch butter.
That's what you said, I think.
Anyway, poor guy. His mother didn't love him.
Yeah. So this is where you're gonna get a little ticked at me. I will say this. This is this is an episode that features some of my least favorite characters from one of my most favorite shows. So it's a mixed bag for me at best. But I will say this, and I don't particularly care for the Vic Fontaine character either.
Why not? I like Vic Fontaine.
He would be fine if I was watching a show about the 1960s. This isn't a show about the 1960s. This is a space station in the middle of a war. And it's about him and Nog and Esri. And I can't stand any of those characters.
Well, maybe your price should be a little higher than $30 to review stuff you don't like. But I enjoyed the episode.
That being said, it's still way better than, pretty much all of Discovery. So, that's I will give it that. It's not unwatchable, but to me, Nog comes across as a whiny little B word. And
wow.
And Esri shows that she is the only person that could possibly be a worse therapist than Troy. Although she would fit right, I don't know. It's yeah. And of course, this is more of the standard Rick Berman era. If you leave the computer on for a while, it just becomes sentient thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do. I mean, it's just a line of dialogue, but they do explain it. How
Look,
Vic's program is special. If when he wants to be off, he's off.
It's everything is special on Star Trek.
He knows that he's a little bit more self-aware. He's not quite a Moriarty, but I mean, come on, man, this is also Voyager. Give me a break.
No,
Deep Space Nine. Sorry, this is deep. This is the '90s where they could do this because they had 30 episodes hour each.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Like I said, I'm not saying that I would quit watching Deep Space Nine because
this your little widget doesn't appear to be it is.
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about?
Well, it's not working on the back end, but that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I can see it just fine. But I found it to be a slog fest of an episode that honestly was, they could have dealt with some real PTSD issues with Nog, and instead they just turned it into a fantasy about him having the lobes for business when he's in a hologram. But we'll get into that. So we start out with an exterior shot of Deep Space Nine, and 3 Federation starships are, 2 are docked, and it looks like one's either about to...
we got the Defiant, we've got some kind of Excelsior class, and I can't tell what that other one is.
Yeah, the other one's hard to make out. Trying to... Yeah, even when the camera rotates, it's really hard to tell. But somehow, they're meeting a transport ship that we didn't see. So I guess it was cloaked or something. And so you're in trouble when this is your opening character shot.
Be nice.
No, I'm not going to be nice.
You're using the wrong overlay. That's what I get for being late.
I didn't change the overlay. You didn't change it on the Thursday night.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Don't be blaming me for your bad. So we have the ditz, the replacement, and the idiot. Right? And none of these characters do I particularly care for. And Stan, realizing that Aaron has passed away was really sad. Considering the how he's one of the younger members of the cast. But yeah, Ezri Dax is I can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't like Ezri either, especially after like Jadzia was such a great character.
And annoying critic. That's not Nog. That's Rom.
That's Rom. That's Nog's dad.
Yeah. I know Nog is not an idiot. He's a coward, but he's not an idiot.
Gosh, man. Oh, hey, I want to thank you very much. The truth shall set you free. Yes, I finally got
That's
to
not
400.
their name. Their name is...
Yes, I finally got to 400. I'll make a big deal out of it when I get to 5. It probably would help if I actually get around to making these videos I've been working on.
I mean, an annoying critic says Ezri is fine. I don't know if you're talking about the way she looks, which I think she looks like a little girl. I don't find her attractive at all. Or if you're talking about, she's fine as a character, in which I would disagree with you there as well.
Yeah, she's definitely not Fine fine. If we're going with
Jadzia
that.
Dax was better than Ezri in every measurable
Oh yeah,
sense.
poor Worf too, man. Like that's an episode we should watch. We should watch the death of. I need a good cry.
And hey, Alex is here now. He says this episode is about all of us watching YouTube. I don't understand that at all, except that. And so here's where Alex puts his metaphor. Correct me if I'm wrong about this, Alex. Is that basically I'm Vic Fontaine because I'm a YouTube personality. And so, and this is kind of like my lounge here where people can come and hang out. But I think the metaphor breaks down on anything beyond that because obviously I'm not an AI program.
Shrink the chat box a little bit. I'm over top of it just a smidge.
You can do that.
Oh, never mind. I'll do it. Yeah, my bad. I'll just make me smaller. It's fine.
Well, you and I should be the same size, right?
There.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good enough.
So why are Rom, Ezri, and Lita all going to here? Because Nog is coming home after getting his leg replaced. And so they're waiting, but he doesn't come out, and then he's the last one off the transport because he's hobbling with a cane, even though he shouldn't be.
Oh, Creep says that was the Stargazer. Okay.
The ship in the back?
That's what he says.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it was. I'm just not important to the story. So, and the funny thing is that Nog says that the doctors have determined that he has no need for the cane.
So as someone, I just did this move, right? And I had my hip replaced in October, and I've been using my cane the past couple days. So I couldn't help but think of some of the scenes where he's like, because I tell you what, like, I feel like I need the cane. I mean, like, who knows this shit, man? But I do know by the end of the episode, he wasn't using the cane. So.
Well, except that here's the problem. This is 24th century medicine.
Yeah.
And they actually specifically say that Nog says that when they ran tests, that the pain receptors and stuff in his leg were not firing, which means that he was not experiencing physical pain from his leg.
Yeah.
It was literally a mental issue. Now that's perfectly fine, and I know that that's a real problem for people that deal with traumatic injury and stuff like that. And if you want to say it's like TOS and that it only had one story, fine, but that's the only similarity it had to TOS because it wasn't a particularly compelling story. But
Damn,
no, I did not like this episode. This is like one of my least favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine.
And you only made him pay you $30 to watch it. You are a cheap whore. Wow.
Yeah. I admit, yes. Although my prices will probably go up in the future.
Yeah, they should.
So, but
That way you can start affording to kick me off a slice of cheddar. Come on.
But think about it. If they can actually measure that his pain synapses aren't firing, they know that it's a psychosomatic issue, then why did they release him?
Now, Alex, I 100% think that's what it is. I like this episode a lot as someone who does suffer with PTSD, who's someone who struggles with alcoholism and goes to AA.
But
I mean, there's
Alex,
a lot of things I liked about this episode.
Is Nog's holodeck? Is Nog's holodeck addiction him dealing with PTSD? To a certain extent, yes. It's also his.
See, look at this. Annoying critic is correct as usual. This is a great episode.
You let me finish a sentence before you.
Because you're so full of it. You're just terrible. You're just poo pooing all over.
Because look, if it's true that he uses the holodeck as kind of a way to deal with his PTSD, it's also true that his counselor and the therapist back at wherever he was, Starbase, whatever, were incompetent. Because
Ezri is definitely incompetent.
Ezri shows she's incompetent, but they also should never have released him. If he's having serious psychosomatic issues like this, he should not have been released.
Psychosomatic addict.
And by the way, you know what if you know what you don't do is in the military is if somebody is on medical leave, you don't then send them back to their post. I mean, that didn't even make sense.
Well, they didn't send him back to his post.
Yeah, they did.
He's on medical leave.
Yeah. Deep Space Nine is his post. And he shows up and hands Cisco his orders, and the orders just say he's on medical leave.
Yeah.
That makes no effing sense whatsoever. So I'm sorry, but this is, and I understand this is one of those things that unless you've served, it wouldn't make any sense to you. You wouldn't care about it. But it is something that drives me nuts when you do things that would just have taken 5 minutes of research to figure out. The best way to have done this would be if he had the leg replaced on the station by Dr. Bashir, not to have him go somewhere else. And then because they wouldn't clear him, they wouldn't send him to Deep Space Nine until he was clear for duty. That just makes no sense. Where else would he have gone, Stan? He would not have left the medical facility that he was at because he is not fit for duty. And by the way, if just living in a fantasy world is considered a legitimate way to deal with your PTSD, then they should just have lots of hollow suites at the medical facility. And so if you want to live in the world of Caligula, or you want to live in the Vic Fontaine world, or you want to live in Chaotica, Bride of Chaotica's world or whatever, while you're trying to work things out, that's perfectly fine. But you don't just send them home and say, well, they'll get better eventually. And yes, Stan, that's how the military works. You don't check out until they're done. So everybody's applauding him. And this is where Nog gives Cisco his orders that say that his orders are that he doesn't have to do anything. And Cisco says, yes, but you have to show up for our party. And he's like, yeah, F you. And so he's like, all right, you can go take a nap, you dick. And so then Nog goes off by himself, feeling sorry for himself. And this is pretty much the entire attitude Nog Nog gives to everyone that's human, or well, living, I should say, on the ship, is F you all. I don't care. Get away from me. And these are signs of deep psychiatric problems.
Yeah, I mean, really obvious ones too, and nobody's doing anything
Right.
appropriate
And so
about
instead, they just let him play on the holodeck. That's not cool. And in fact, once something, and this is actually an underhanded argument for the way that modern psychiatric science deals with things like transsexualism. Is that, having a problem, just live out your fantasy and everything will be fine.
Well, I mean, it is a realistic depiction of depression because from Nog's point of view, someone would, I mean, good Lord, man, if there was if holodecks were real, a lot of people would probably do what Nog did to try to deal with stuff. It doesn't make it right, but it just seemed realistic and relatable.
Right. No, I get that. Is that Nog's pushing everybody away is not entirely unrealistic.
I think this is a very realistic portrayal of psychological trauma. In fact, I bet you, I wish I should have got my boy Johnny Rock on the show today. He's a combat veteran who was, wounded in the line of duty, and that's why he's not in the military anymore. And he cites this episode as one of his favorites, and he said, yeah, I wish I'd have had him on. I mean, I bet you there's people in the chat. Right. I mean, hell, that's probably why that weird pedophile, what's his name, Alex, paid you to review this. He's probably a wounded combat.
Wow. That's
amazing. Did I say that pedophile thing out loud? I was just thinking that. Yeah, that guy's got some serious mental issues. Anyway, but maybe he got them serving our country and getting wounded, and that's why he likes this episode so much.
I dude, come on now. Let's not be a dick. You're being as much of a dick as Nog is.
Told you I could relate.
And
it's a shame that the actor just died way too young. Just crazy.
So let me say this. So first of all, Stan, yes, they do suggest this is not a long-term solution, and in fact, Esri was kind of against it from the beginning. But when I talk about the trans thing, keep in mind that ultimately we find out by the end of this episode that Vic Fontaine is real. This is the episode that establishes that Vic Fontaine is a living sentient being because he gets to leave his program on for the first time and he's loving it. And he has real feelings, and he doesn't want to let Nog go because he'll be alone again, and he'll get shut off again, and he doesn't want that. And
there's some good shit, man. Like when Vic tells him at the end if he stays, he's going to die. Not, I'm paraphrasing, of course, not all at once, a little bit at a time. And I love the line. My favorite line is, "Eventually, you'll be as hollow as me." And that's just good shit, man. Come on. This is when Star Trek was good, man.
No,
I mean, maybe I'm romanticizing it because I watched it right after that garbage called Discovery you forced down my throat.
This is when good Star Trek was bad.
And I'm the dick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So don't get me wrong. It's still, like I said, it's still better than Discovery. But
dude, this is an amazing episode. What's wrong with you?
And Alex says the analogy continues. Anyone being here like Rom, I assume you mean Nog, and treating the internet as a surrogate for life. Well, there's also a big difference, though, is that if you connect with people online, while it's not as good as connecting with people face to face, I will absolutely stand by that. I think that we, as human beings, we're social animals and we should be face to face with people. But it is not. You're playing like what you're talking about would be like if you're playing video games, single player video games, and that was your escape. Because keep in mind, Nog is playing in a simulator. He's playing The Sims.
The Sims. Hey, speaking of, let me go ahead and get this trivia question out of the way from the fine folks over at Criticless. Criticless.com. We'll talk more about them a little bit later. I'll let the winner pick out. Remember, you got to DM me on Twitter. That's the handle right there. This is a really easy one. because I couldn't come up with anything great. There's a scene where everybody's giving Bashir shit about all of his holodeck programs. And they're all saying, well, at least he's not hiding in this one that could be worse. This one is stupid. This one's ridiculous.
Right.
Which program is referred to as stupid? Real simple. First correct answer in the chat wins. Do you know the answer?
I do not know the answer to that.
Okay, I do, just because I just watched this episode again right before.
You know, I'll be. I know this. You're gonna get mad at me again, but I tried to watch it again today and I fell asleep.
What the? Yeah.
And
dude.
so I put it on again and I fell asleep again. And I just, it's great. I'm gonna put this episode on.
It's the dulcet tunes of Vic Fontaine, man. He's like a glass of warm milk.
No, I fell asleep like before he even. Oh, I hate.
He performs here at the South Point, or he used to. I mean, he might be dead now, but when I first moved out here,
he's a great singer. Don't get me wrong.
Under the name Vic Fontaine.
That's funny. Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know how, but he did.
Okay, so let me answer what a couple of people would say. So Alex is saying his post is also his home, and Stan was saying, well, he was physically healed, so they're supposed to keep him in the hospital. Yes, because he's not mentally healed. He is unfit.
All right, so guys,
keep in mind. Hold on. We're talking about the freaking military here. You're talking about an organization where you're going to be walking around with. No, don't give me no crap. They are
Starfleet's not.
Don't give me that crap. They are at war right now.
I thought we were explorers. Yeah, they're at war.
Yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. So.
No, it's not the Alamo, but it is in that scene. So, you've already won. You've already won Planet X.
They are in the military. And he has ready access to weapons, both handheld and launchable weapons. And so, no, you do not release someone to go to an active duty post in a war zone when they are suffering from PTSD.
Super chat.
An annoying critic with a $5 super chat says, great episode that shows how creativity and leadership can help with PTSD. What leadership? I understand the creativity part. I could see
Vic
how
Fontaine, listen, Pally, you stay here, you're gonna die. You gotta live. You gotta really live.
So the leadership is from the machine. Well, that's a great lesson. So yeah, if you assuming
maybe he considers Deep Space Nine his home. That's where his dad is.
If the military, if the military were sending you home on medical, you're out of the military.
Creep, Planet X already guessed the Alamo. It is not the Alamo program. The stupid program is not the Alamo program. The Alamo program is the one that it could be worse. He could be hiding in the Alamo program.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
why did you highlight that one?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Can't you see I'm moving the timeline? We're in the credits now. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah,
Stanley, no, it is not the Battle of Britain. In fact, I don't even think that one is mentioned in the scene I'm referring to.
There's a nice derp look on S3.
Dude, I can't even be. Maybe I was when I was younger. I honestly don't remember. I did a lot of drinking.
I do not find her physically attractive.
I don't find. Not only do I not find her attractive, like she just like I almost. Whoever does, man, you guys ought to seek. Depending on your, if you're my age and you find her attractive, get some counseling. You might have some issues. She looks like my daughter. You know what I mean?
She looks like my son.
Be nice. Oh my God, what a great question. We should both answer this. This is a good question.
How would you describe your ultimate holodeck program if you had that technology?
What would yours be? Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
Probably something like the Kobayashi Maru.
Really? Explain.
Yeah. I just think it would be fun to be able to be the captain of a starship and do all the fun stuff that you see in Star Trek, space battles and that kind of thing. That would be a good one. the problem is what the holodeck can't do is like augment you physically, because if it could, I would say like some kind of superhero thing.
Yeah.
But I still have difficulty walking around and stuff like that, so I wouldn't make much of a superhero. But Kobayashi Maru, you could have a whole bridge thing set up and put your favorite fantasy characters around you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, and I would.
You're just going to go straight for Caligula, aren't you?
Well, I was going to say I would probably take a page out of Riker's book. Definitely do something with an attractive lady. And I'll leave it at that.
Only one?
Hey, man, I've been celibate a long time. I got to start with one. Yeah, I'll take the low hanging fruit. Mine would be like that. I'd get one of Quark's famous, harem hollow suite.
What was it? Love something of Love Slaves of Vulcan or something? I'm trying to remember.
Creep says Worf's Klingon bachelor party program.
I don't know if you'd survive that one.
Yeah, no.
So she tries to have a therapy session with.
Oh! I might allow this. Brian McFarlane was the Bashir stupid thing playing Vikings with O'Brien. I was looking for the exact quote. I might take it. You're close. We got a lot of stream left. You're really close. Really close. Anyway.
Yeah, Alex, it is. I do think it's one of the signs of the apocalypse that you and Danny are agreeing so much. But don't worry, I'm still disagreeing with you. So
should have wore my Hell Froze Over shirt, but that's fine. Instead, I'm rocking the Criticalist shirt. You can get yours today at shop.criticalist.com. All right, I'm done chilling.
Yeah, for another 5 minutes.
Don't forget to go to supportsalty.com. Actually, we didn't review this together. Never mind. Or watch this together. So.
Yeah.
But still go. Why not? Good stuff on it.
What are we watching next week? What do we say we're going to watch?
Godzilla -1. Do we want to watch it together? Because I'm down.
Oh, yeah.
I finally got Netflix. So.
Are you going to be able to watch that and The Acolyte?
Ooh. Maybe we'll just watch Godzilla alone. I'd be willing to do.
Well, you've never seen this Godzilla movie, right?
I never have seen the Godzilla movie, but I obviously haven't seen it. Well, it's only one episode of Acolyte. We could do both because the Godzilla movie's not that long, right? It's an hour and a half.
I didn't check how long it was.
I think it's only an hour and a half. We can do both. We'll watch both Tuesday.
Let's see.
We should break it up into 2 videos, though, so you have more content for Patreon. But or I was going to say members. We can't put a watch along on even on YouTube members, so never mind.
Yeah, because YouTube would nail us to the wall. Let's see.
Yes, Stanley.
No, Godzilla -1 is 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Read that.
Well, no, Godzilla -1 you have to because it's in Japanese.
Okay. All right. Well, still, so I always set aside at least 3 hours. So, and I can give you up to 3.5. So if we start at 6, we can do both. If I'm on time, I'll be on time.
You're not an hour late. And,
all
right.
We'll make it work. It'll be fun.
Oh, there's a dubbed version? I didn't even know there was a dubbed version. But yeah.
I haven't pulled it up yet. I haven't even logged in. I have to make a new Netflix account because of the.
Well, yeah, I'll download it and get it prepped so we can watch it together. But yeah, if you don't mind a Japanese movie, so.
Nah, as long as you let me read it,
Well, no, you just have to speak fluent Japanese.
I mean, if you let me let me read this, actually voice the subtitles, over it,
It'd be fun would be to turn the subtitles off and then put our own subtitles on. Is whatever we feel like them saying,
Yeah, and Stanley, Acolyte's probably only going to be less than 30 minutes because they have 8 minutes of credits for some reason. Oh, man, my fault for being late. Before we got into this, I did want to kind of swing back. Maybe at the end, if we have time, I want to circle back to talk a little bit about, because I did go out and venture into the wild, and I watched a few.
Did you watch
reviews.
Critical Drinkers video?
I did.
Oh my god!
So let's hold off. Let's talk about that at the end then. Okay.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about doing response video just to
I
that.
really thought you should, man. And like even the dude I wanted to have on the show with us, he was a little bit more harsh on it than I thought he would be. And man, did he have a problem with the fire. Like I would have loved to have seen this, sat back and ate popcorn while the two of you had that discussion.
And Arabic, as far as Prodigy season 2, we'll review it sometime after it drops. We'll binge watch the whole thing.
We're gonna binge it together and then just review it all in one show. So yeah.
Assuming it's short enough to binge it once. If we have to break it into 2, then we'll do that. But,
yeah, we'll play. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we might do that one on a Saturday like we used to do. That way we have more time.
So Nog is whining about his non-existent pain and the fact that because here's the thing: is that if you are suffering from psychosomatic pain, Nog knows it's psychosomatic pain. The doctors know it's psychosomatic pain. Then why are they letting him use a cane?
Oh, man, Brian with the good questions. Okay, before I answer this question, sorry, but we got to interact with the chat. That's the whole point of the show. Before I do, this is close enough and you're asking such fire questions. DM me on Twitter, you win. The exact quote is, or that stupid Viking program. So it's close enough. Yeah. They didn't say with O'Brien, but I'll take it. That said, your next question was.
But everything Bashir does is stupid is with O'Brien.
that is true. So he's asking if I were offered a holodeck version of the end of Wrath of Khan, would I participate? Fuck yeah, I would.
Really?
You God, yes. Well, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'd play Kirk. I would do the scene and I'd act it out exactly because I've seen it a million times.
No, you just be the guy that's holding Kirk back.
No. Yeah. I would just shit. I'd be Kirk just to wear the outfit for nothing else. But no, to experience that, I cry just watching it. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'd love that. And this is why I'm going to die alone. But I'd love that. I would totally love that. Yeah, thank you. Good, great questions. Keep them coming. I love the questions.
Anyway, so and then he'd end up. Annoying critical drinker is more than kind of that in this video. He was just off the rails bad.
Dude, it was harsh. And Dave Collins, I had to turn his off.
I didn't watch Dave Collins.
Yeah, man, everybody's shitting. I hate that salty nerds are waiting until Saturday. I'm really interested to see what Kadish is going to say.
Oh, please. They're going to say the exact same crap?
Not always. Kadish is a man of integrity. Kadish is a man of integrity.
$5 says that salty nerds go down the woke trail.
Well, I can tell by Vader or Dutch Butter's tweets that he's gonna. But
Creamy Butt, that's his name.
I haven't seen anything of Kadish yet, other than him making fun of the interviews and stuff. That I am so glad. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, back to the episode. Sorry.
All right, so Nog just doesn't want help, and being the great counselor that she is, Ezri's like, okay, and leaves.
Yeah, she even stops at the door like, is he going to stop me? And just like, bitch, do your job. Don't expect him to do your job for you.
Yeah, that's what I say. She's completely incompetent in this. And Alex says he would do Risa in his holodeck. So there you go.
That's too much for me, man. That's just too much. I need to,
Oh, please. You would go to Risa in a
No, I would probably do some kind of fantasy fulfillment where, like, I'm almost kind of like Dixon Hill, James Bond, older timey in a tux, classically beautiful woman, where like I woo, and it's programmed to where I'm going to have no fear of rejection. I woo
it would be fun.
We dance. We were the center of attention. We go and we have fun. We do crazy stuff, and then we make sweet, sweet love at the end. And then I sadly wake up crying because it was all fake. But
but what I think would be fun is if you can make holodeck programs for your friends. And so I'd like, hey, dude, check this one out. It's awesome. And it's like the Edo, from Justice. You remember the first season episode Justice? That's where Wesley trips and breaks the flowers and is going to get executed.
Oh, it's going to, yeah, okay, yeah.
But everybody on the planet is like in perfect physical shape and has sex constantly.
Yeah.
Right? And so, so it starts out where you're on the Enterprise and you're supposed to beam down and make contact, and it's them, right? Yeah. And you're like, yes! But then, as soon as you touch any of the women, they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, heterosexuality is illegal," and so now you're going to have to take this lethal injection. And you like, no, 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 and then they don't.
That's not a bad idea, Stan. Salty would make a good fryer tuck. You'd see that totally.
Wow.
I'd need to lose about 20 pounds to be a realistic Robin
Okay,
Hood.
so forget about the lethal injection by needle now. Of course, you've had that kind of injection before. You just, anyway, twice, if I remember correctly. So then Nog and Nog's wearing his Decker pants, I see.
Yeah.
So he puts on Vic Fontaine music while he's trying to rest. And we get some blah, blah, blah. He's struggling because,
Hey, Alex, super chat him $50 to make his ass watch it. That'd be funny.
Let he who is without sin. Which one is that?
Oh, wow. Mr. Star Trek.
Well, dude, I don't know, especially if it's not original series. I don't know all the episode names. I own that. I don't remember which episode that is. Which episode? Just tell me which episode it is.
Alex.
You don't know what episode it is? Is that why you're stalling? You don't actually know. Okay, so
It's the one where Worf and his Jadzia go to Ryza.
oh yeah, that one is horrible.
Yeah. He literally just said it. As much as he likes seeing Ryza, the plot is cruel and unusual punishment. So.
Well, I want to go to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet. I want to know what's there. And for those of you that don't remember, go back and watch The Man Trap. That's the only reference to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet. And
see, Alex, you're derailing us. Now I'm losing what modicum of respect a critic had for me. It's gone now. It's all good.
yeah. And okay, so now you're calling it the red pill community. Is that what the Phantom Menace is morphed into? The red pill community? Well, F the red pill community. That's my opinion on it. Because, man, they're becoming. Stop trying to drive us. We'll talk about that when we're done with the episode.
Yeah, when we're done with the episode, we'll circle back to
Right.
yesterday's show.
Yeah, so Jake is getting really pissed off at Nog because Nog keeps playing the song.
Wow,
on
he looks
repeat.
like he just got surprised with a finger up his butthole. That's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of your holodeck, we'll make a special holodeck for Vader called the what was it? The butter oven.
Oh, the Dutch Butters.
Or Dutch butters, yeah.
Dutch Butters oven.
Yeah, Dutch butter. And it's like he comes in, it's like all these beautiful women, and they're all lined up ready to make hot love with him, but they all are suffering from explosive diarrhea.
Oh my God.
Vader would probably like that, though. All right. So he tells him to knock it off so he can get some sleep, and to go to the Hollow Suite if he wants to hear that song. So he goes to the Hollow Suite. And he enters the Vic Fontaine program. So So there's a flashback here to when he first lost his leg. Bashir was playing that song, which is why he finds that song comforting. And that's actually a nice little touch. I like that.
Yeah.
But and then Vic Fontaine sings like 47 different versions of the song for him.
I think he says 15 or 16, but
I don't know. I'm just Yeah, maybe not.
Hyperbole. It's fine.
Yes. And then everybody's like, what are we going to do? He's been in the holodeck all this time. And, but technically, they can't make him leave. So it's like, guess he's going to be living in the holodeck.
And she's like confiding in a holodeck program, like a fake person, and taking and
Right,
like even
that's what I'm
later
saying.
when she's all like, "Hey, you're so smart. You don't got to tell me. You probably have got all the bases covered and angles
Right.
played out. And blah blah blah." Come on.
And let's see. And Trustin says, forget a trip to the pleasure planet. I'll take a trip to sick bay, get all the working baby parts again. Well, you know what, Trustin? All you need for that is a transporter. Remember, they established in actually in the animated series, but then reinforced in Star Trek: The Next Generation, transporter can cure anything.
Well, you know what can cure what ails you, Trustin? It's our new sponsor, Blue Chew. Check out bluechew.com/nerdfight. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Huh?
It's the ED tablet.
Oh, is that your favorite?
No, they're just big. They sponsor
Yeah, they're
a lot of
I'm sure they're
podcasts.
big. And let's see here.
No, Brian, I do not. I want my holodeck program people to follow their programming and do my bidding. That's why I'm there. If I wanted some bitch to reject me, I could do that in real life.
I have a problem with because
Oh, I'm not supposed to say that word. I'm sorry. If I wanted some woman, I got into a friend of mine got really mad at me today because I kept using that word to refer to women.
Yeah,
and I wasn't
because
doing it.
it's
I wasn't trying to
wrong,
do it.
dude.
I know that's what she was. I wasn't trying to do it in a mean way, and it doesn't matter what the intent
it's a
is.
mean word.
Exactly. I know. I'm working on it.
It's like come up with a nice way to call a black person the N word. It doesn't work that way. If you're not black, you can't use that word.
Well, not anymore. I mean, when I was a kid, it wasn't a problem, but it's because I was the only white
Yeah, but
kid.
it wasn't nice.
No, we were. That's another way of saying homie or brother. Had to grow out of it.
Penny, did you not raise this boy?
It's her fault for making me go to Griffin Middle School.
Anyway, so yeah, but you see, this is my problem: is that the holodeck programs in starting in TNG and continuing here, and of course culminating in the Doctor on Voyager, are all they're basically just people. They're artificial people.
Yeah.
And so every one of them is, and this is something that I really cannot stand. So as far as do I think they should be self-aware? No, I don't think it's possible. I think you can simulate self-awareness for the sake of making like a hollow novel type of environment to feel more realistic. But I don't believe that if you let Vic Fontaine program number 3 run for 6 solid months, he suddenly becomes a sentient, conscious being.
I think, therefore I am. Or not. I don't know.
But he doesn't think. He says he thinks because that would be the programming. But yeah.
Well, if you, what's that doctor that was on Joe Rogan that says we're all living in a simulation? I have to look that up. If you believe in that theory, I mean, we're all just.
Well, that's the interesting thing. You're talking about the simulation theory is actually an interesting idea. It's a philosophical argument, but if in fact, and this is here's how far the simulation theory actually, the scary thing is this makes sense. If you genuinely believe that computers could create self-aware programs and you could create a simulated environment that self-aware computer program would not be able to distinguish from the real world, then it is far more likely that you are a self-aware program than you are a human being. And the reason being that there would be millions of computers running these simulations. Not only that, but within those simulations, the simulated people would be creating simulations of more simulated people that would be creating simulations. So basically, there are millions upon millions of universes that are simulated universes, and only one real one. So the odds of you being in the real world are like 1 in
Have you ever
millions.
seen that movie, The 13th Floor?
Probably, but I don't remember.
It's really good. It's kind of that would be a cool retro review. Basically, this guy makes a simulated world, but by the end of the movie, he finds out he's in the simulated world.
Right.
Or in one of them, there's like they show it as a room full of like servers, and each one is its own simulation. It's kind of cool movie.
Anyway, but Vic Fontaine is just a program. And notice, this scene right here means that not only do they have a complete, and this is not even a Federation system. This is Quark's porn booth that he's in, basically. And so Quark has on record the whole Vic Fontaine file, which happens to include all the old movies of Earth.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the technology in the 24th century, yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Because it's a waste.
Uh-oh. Super chats. And I don't believe for a damn second that's Gary.
And shoot, I can't see it.
This TV show is just as woke as The Acolyte. Come on, a black captain, female first officer, and only 2 white guys, and one isn't even real. Disney trash. That was funny.
And absolutely true. That's the problem. And I'm not going there. Man, you guys keep trying to get us to go to the woke topic.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there after this.
Yeah. All right. So they're watching a movie together. Vic let Nog move in with him. And so Nog is now living 24/7 in the holosuite with Vic. And Nog begins helping Vic, and Vic gets him a nice new cane that's a replica of a cane that apparently Errol Flynn used. Which I thought that was cool because I'm a fan of Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
I actually have somewhere up here, Errol Flynn's leading lady in most of his movies was Olivia de Havilland, and I have her autograph.
Cool.
But anyway, so Nog decides he's going to, help run the bar and help Vic with his accounting and stuff.
I don't think that's happened yet. This is where Nog is a dick to
right. So
Jake's girl.
Yeah, Jake brings some hot Bajoran chick to the bar, and Nog just basically says, "F you both, you're not holograms." And they're like, "Yeah, well, screw you then, buddy." And Nog is still completely a dick.
And yes, Stanley, this Vic is supposed to be a Vegas act. This is supposed to be Vegas.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, they say it's Vegas.
Yeah. I should have used that for the thumbnail. I like that still.
So, yeah, there's the books right there that Vic is working on. And the funny thing is, since Vic's program doesn't normally operate 24/7, he never gets to do his accounting.
Yeah.
And so that's why he needs help with it. And Nog, being a Ferengi, no problem. And
hey, look at this. 54.5 Access Radio has a suggestion for me. Use broad.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
see,
that's...
when I use
broad. Do not use broad.
When I use the other B word, I'm not referring to females that I don't like. I'm just referring to females. Yes, but it doesn't
matter, dude. You got to stop.
I know it doesn't matter. I get it. But yeah, I guess broads probably ain't any better than bitches. So
no, neither of those are good terms to use. So please don't use broad. Just say woman. Is it's really that difficult for you?
It was funny because when I was talking to my friend earlier, I was like, "Well, I apologize. it might be an East Coast thing. I was referring to females, and she's like, "Motherfucker, I ain't a female either. I'm a woman. You need to put some respect on it." I was like, "Whoa, okay, well, my bad." So, okay.
So basically, Nog figures out that Vic's got a ton of money, so they're going to expand the lounge.
We're gonna make a casino,
right?
Thomas, I have been slapped a few times.
Gee, I'm shocked.
Yeah, haven't been punched. Well, I have been punched, but not for that. I got a black eye for my birthday from an ex-girlfriend back in 2020. Yeah, my birthday in 2020. That's because she was drunk.
So Lita and Rom come in to visit, and Nog is telling them all about all the great profits they're making. And I do like Rom's like, so those are holographic profits, right?
They bring it up a couple times where he has to like, but whatever. He just brushes it off,
Yeah.
I did think that was a funny touch because it's more than once. It's not just Nog; it's a couple times.
Yeah, but it's bad if Rom notices there's a problem.
No, Stan, I have 2 ex-wives and a wake of bitches, or a wake of women.
Wow, dude, just
in addition to that,
stop.
Hey, I corrected myself immediately. It's like the R word. Give me a little bit. I'm working on it. Okay. I don't have my list up here yet. I haven't unpacked everything. I literally had a list of words not to say. It's not there. So
yeah, we need to make an app that automatically censors you whenever you use it. And so this is kind of messed up where she's like, oh yeah, so this is great.
This is the part I'm talking about where she's like deferring to him. He's a freaking hologram. You stupid child.
Casino is anything more than a ploy? That you'd actually let him live out the rest of his life in a hollow suite?
No, of course not.
But that's exactly what he wants.
Yes.
That he wants Nog to be his buddy and live in the hollow suite until he dies.
Oh my God. Yeah, clearly didn't learn from that lesson. This is a beautiful quote. Thank you, annoying critic. You see, sir, in our century, we've learned not to fear words. We've gone in the opposite direction. But it's still considered rude to use that word. Now people, it's like Voldemort, he who shall not be named. Some of these words have gotten that ridiculous.
Look, I am not saying that people aren't too sensitive about this crap. But I'm also saying, Danny Mute trademark, we need that. But what I am saying is that I don't want YouTube to shut down the channel. You see the difference there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So philosophically, I agree with you at least in part. I don't agree with calling women the B word, but whatever. But I also don't think that it's the worst thing you could possibly do. However, I do know that YouTube looks at channels that do that on the regular and flags them. So I would prefer you to stop doing that. What are you doing now?
Nothing.
All right. So then they start having a heart-to-heart, and because even though he wants to keep Nog there, he listens to Ezri, and he's like, all right, dude, I'm just going to kill myself. And he shuts himself off and leaves Nog. They should have stains all over the carpet in there. I'm just saying.
You would be the one to point
we know
that
what
out.
most people use Quark's holosuites for. Come on. And so this is when, what are you putting up on the screen? What is that? I can't even.
Oh, it's not working. Womp womp.
Dude, really? You're trying to put crap up to make it even worse? Can you please get rid of that?
Maybe it's because women don't like to be called bitches, Jay.
Yeah. Dude, you're not helping. You're really not helping when you do that. Okay. I just said I don't want the channel to get flagged, and you do more stuff to try and get us flagged.
No, it's
No,
fair
yes,
use.
that's
It's fair
exactly
use.
what causes it. You
It's fair
don't
use.
care. You don't listen. Please, I'm begging you to listen to me.
Battle Axe. No, I don't think that's a good one either.
And that's kind of from the 1950s.
Yeah.
No, purposely doing it more doesn't help our case with YouTube.
Would
We
Quark's
want-
holosuite technology be more high tech than on the Enterprise from TNG? Maybe. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, it's private sector tech, and but it's probably more refined and designed to have more sex. But yeah.
I don't know about his creep. My channel is not marked for kids.
No, it's not that the channel is marked for kids. That's not the case. But the thing is, the way the YouTube algorithm works is that it will recommend your channel
There we
more.
go. Chicks. I'll go with chicks. That's a happy compromise. Anyway, poor Nog.
Oh, Danny, you're seriously giving me a migraine.
Sorry, I'll behave.
No, you won't. That's the problem. When you get going, you just can't shut it off.
No, I can. I can shut it off. I'm not drunk. That's fine.
Then why didn't
Back
you?
when I was drunk, I can, because
Because you want the channel to get shut down.
Now that you're telling me I'm causing you physical harm, I'm going to stop because. I don't
Oh,
want
okay.
that.
So it's okay if we cause the channel harm. It's just that if it hurts me physically.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt you physically, but
But you just want to hurt me financially.
not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
What? That's what causing the algorithm to not like our channel does.
This is where we learn that Vic Fontaine can turn himself off and keep himself off. That's
Yes, because and that's I have a big problem with this whole thing because this is where we find, oh yeah, Vic is special, and so he can do whatever he wants because he's like the, he's basically like the Doctor from Voyager. In fact, he has more power than the Doctor did when they first started Voyager because the Doctor couldn't shut himself off at the beginning of Voyager. So
I know. People like seeing me drive him nuts. That's the whole appeal. Yeah. It's all good.
Should have taken some Tylenol before the show.
Sorry.
Anyway, so Nog is crying because he's a wuss and he doesn't want to face the real world. But Vic is gonna make him.
He's having a breakthrough here. This is the scene I'm talking about. You're gonna be as hollow as me, Pally, or whatever.
Well, it's not that Nog is having a breakthrough; it's that Vic is forcing him to.
Sometimes you gotta.
No, that's not how breakthroughs work. So then, Nog negotiates to have Vic kept on all 26 hours a day, and he can shut himself off and turn himself on at whenever he wants. Which is so Vic gets to live a life, and then we get to hear him sing one more time for everybody. And the end. With the same shot we started with.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Star
perfect
Trek's always
metaphor
been
for
good
this
at-
episode. This episode goes nowhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, was it the worst episode of Deep Space Nine? Yeah, probably. But it was still better.
Not even close. Not even close. To being the
What's a
worst
worse episode?
Oh, the one that he recommended earlier that you don't want to watch.
That one is pretty bad. I'll give you that. Okay, so maybe not the worst episode, but it's definitely bottom tier. And I mean, is the guy that plays Vic, is he a talented singer? Absolutely. Do I want to see a crooner on Star Trek? No. No more than I want to hear that stupid theme song from Enterprise, or I want all the swearing in Discovery. It just doesn't fit.
That's a good point, Brian, because we did in Picard's season 1 and 2, but
yeah, no apparent serving holograms in Discovery. There should have been.
Yeah,
like half the crew
so.
should have been holograms.
Yeah. I agree. This was wonderful character development for Nog. I don't know what's wrong with Salty. It's probably my fault. It's all good.
And Move Along Home, Randall, is not nearly as bad an episode as people make it out to be. I can defend that episode. That is actually a really good character episode for Quark.
Yeah, Thomas, I was talking about this earlier. In fact, a friend of mine who I wanted to guest on this, I'd just been so busy I couldn't reach out to him, is a combat veteran who was injured in the line of duty, and he cited this episode as something he could relate to that helped him. He loves this episode, so Salty's got no heart. We all knew that. It's fine.
No, I'm just more pragmatic than you. So anyway, I would still give it, like a good 6 out of 10. It's
yeah, it was. I mean, we're not too far off. I was thinking like 7.5. I'd give it a 7.5.
So yeah, I railed on it a bit, but keep in mind, I like I said, this is a bad episode of the best series outside of the original series.
Yeah.
So, and hey, I'll even say there are episodes of the original series that are worse than this episode. So, that's, but to me, an episode that is all about the characters you don't care about, set in a setting you don't care about, and I get that
you don't care about. And yes, Trek reviewer James Darren was good in this episode as Vic Fontaine.
But yeah, I mean, that's the problem though, is that you're going to have a hard time getting me hooked on any Vic Fontaine episode. Because, and the funny thing is that that's one of the reasons we don't see much of Cisco, who is my favorite character on the show. Because Avery Brooks refused to participate in any Vic Fontaine scenes because of the fact that it was portraying a time and place where black people would not have been welcome, as if black people were welcome there. And Avery Brooks refused to do that.
Oh, man.
Because 60s Vegas, a black person could not go into a lounge club like that. It would not have happened.
No,
they would have to go to the colored people's club.
It's a holodeck. It's fantasy.
Right, but the thing is that it's also whitewashing. And I get that that's pedantic and everything of Avery Brooks, but I respect him for it, that he's consistent about that. And the simple, yeah, Brian, Frank Sinatra's great friend was Sammy Davis Jr., but guess what? Sammy Davis Jr. couldn't get into a club unless he was with Frank Sinatra. That's the thing, is that, and Sammy was the exception, not the rule. Like, if my mother-in-law wanted to walk into a club in Las Vegas in the 1960s, she would not have been allowed. And she knew firsthand, because it's not like she didn't ever go on vacation in the 1960s. Annoying critic, I get the suspension of disbelief thing, and again, like I said, this is Avery Brooks' position. I'm mixed on it, because on the one hand, I totally see where Avery Brooks, why he felt that way, and it because to someone who's passionate about civil rights, it's one of those lest we forget kind of things. It's like, hey, what if you started making movies about 1940s Germany, and you had an ethnically diverse squad of Nazi soldiers?
Hey, Californians. You're not supposed to say
Yeah,
that word.
I know, but
Get on to me.
I'm trying to make an example, so I'm being clinical here. Okay, California soldiers. Would you buy into that? You know.
And yes, Stanley, I do remember that.
Yes, he did.
Best is yet. Yeah.
I believe that was in the very end of the series, wasn't it?
As the finale, I believe.
Yeah. I think that they kind of twisted his arm and made him do it in that episode. But notice, Cisco never goes into the bar. But the and like I said, I get it. I see the problem is that if you do change, like I've seen stuff recently where you'd have people in the Deep South during the 1700s or something, and you'd have like some landowner who was black just hanging out in the bar with a couple of people that were white, and nobody made a big deal out of it. And that doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't compute. So I get that. On the other side of it, I also get that this is a holodeck program. And so I think that Avery resisting going into the holodeck for the 1960s Vegas stuff, I disagreed with that. Although I didn't like having Vic Fontaine on the show anyway. I don't think he added anything substantial to the show.
Oh. Well, hey, Brian in the chat, don't forget, because you haven't hit me up yet. Dork Knight LV on Twitter. DM me so I can get your info and send you your little prize pack for getting the correct answer today. On the Criticless trivia question. Speaking of Criticless, you want to go ahead and take care of that so I can use my pee bucket?
Why don't you just keep your pee bucket at your desk? Then you can just do that right now.
Where's the fun in that? I got to torture you. You torture me. I'll be back.
I wonder if there's any good movies out this weekend.
Would you like me to recommend you some new movies?
Oh my god, what was that?
Hello, my name is Lit. I am your in-car information system. I can give you recommendations for any type of entertainment. Would you like to hear about the most popular movies in theaters today based on critic scores from Rotten Apples?
Okay, yeah, I would, actually.
The #1 movie in the country this weekend is about a homosexual chipmunk who learns how to play chess. This 4-hour epic displays 10 full chess matches in real time.
No, absolutely not. That sounds literally horrendous. I can't even believe that's real.
Okay, well, the second highest rated movie, with 98% on Rotten Apples, is about a poor starving girl living in the 1920s who finds refuge in a cannibalistic swinger commune, where they all learn the value of love while feasting on the flesh of the innocent.
Who's rating these?
These are ratings from the top film critics in the country.
I am so sick of this. Honestly, I'll just find my own movie. I wonder if there's any good movies out this weekend.
Would you like me to recommend you some new movies?
Sorry
Oh my
about
god,
that.
what was that?
Hello,
Find the
my
right
name is...
button to hit. But yeah, Thomas, maybe you're right, because it's been a while since I've watched Deep Space Nine, and maybe I'm confusing something Cisco said with something that Avery Brooks said. But I still think it's a valid point either way. I also think that I think that I think the addition of Vic Fontaine, I think the point is moot because the addition of Vic Fontaine added nothing to the series for me. Let's see. Track Reviewer says, what if instead of Darren playing Vic, Vic was played by Frank Sinatra like it was planned? Was Frank Sinatra alive when it was going? I guess he might have been. If that were the case, that wouldn't have made the character any more relevant. And Lieutenant Gromit says, best of both worlds, Riker halts the elevator to have a word with Shelby. She resumes the trip when the point has been made. Well, yeah, because Star Trek is totally woke. But thank you, Lieutenant Gromit. And Alex is almost tempted to request Move Along Home along with Lore Runner's Lamentations on that episode. I don't know anything about Lore Runner or Lamentations on that episode. Arabic with $2 says it's been a while. A long time? And I'm not sure why the question mark there, but thank you, my friend. Okay, so Cisco said yeah, so I probably got them confused. Fair enough. All right.
Got what confused?
Something Cisco said was something Avery Brooks said.
Okay.
It was Cisco that objected to the Holosuite program, not Avery Brooks. And I think what I saw, here's where I think it went, Thomas, is that what I saw was Avery Brooks saying that he wanted Cisco to say that in order for him to get into the Holosuite. So that at least it would be voiced. Sinatra died in 1998. Okay. I guess Sinatra was originally going to be Vic Fontaine. I didn't know that, but that wouldn't have made any difference for me because look, Sinatra. I think Sinatra is completely overrated, to be honest. But
oh, hey man, don't. Anyway,
I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying he's overrated.
So look, here's a good segue. You know how, what is it that Critical Drinker says at the end of each of his shows?
That's all I get to say. Something leave.
Go away now.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of every stream, I'm going to say this.
Bitches leave.
I'm just play that clip. Last one. Sorry. Come on. I guarantee you some people in the chat laughed at that. Come on.
You really don't get it.
It's the healing power of laughter.
No,
man.
You don't.
Hey, did you actually talk about Critic List any and encourage people to join us on the platform like in our Nerd Fights group?
Join us on Critic List. Links in the description. But don't bother signing up for Danny's because he's a dick.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I don't see Critic List being a sponsor very long with that enthusiasm. But okay.
You got to stop doing that to me, man. You got to. See, and you're just snickering and laughing like it's the funniest thing.
I'm sorry. I'm a child. I'll work on it.
Yes, yes, you are. But
and before it's soda. Before Alex makes another comment.
Yeah, I know exactly, Thomas. But I guess.
Oh, come on! I saw you giggle.
No, I didn't giggle.
Sorry. Anyway, so yeah,
I am not laughing at that. Okay, it's not funny.
Okay, so I went back and I watched some stuff and I read some things, and boy, Blaine and I are really on the super chat.
Let's see. What does that one say? Bigger. Although I thought Vic was awesome. I mean, on paper, he doesn't work, but he was good at relieving tension in the last season, says Wedge and Big's agent. Well, I disagree with you, but hey, to each their own. I understand. Look, if you love Vic Fontaine, awesome. Art is subjective, but I did not feel like he added anything to the show.
Well, you ought to throw up a still from like whatever the derpiest, worst still you can find from the Acolyte. So I do want to. I find this interesting because when you and I were doing the watch along, thank you everyone for joining us for our retro review of It's Only a Paper Moon, Deep Space Nine. We reviewed that because Alex Bogey bribed Salty Trekker with a super chat. If you'd like us to review something Star Trek related and have some disposable income, throw it Salty's way, and we'll do the same for you guys. But now on to not so much the Acolyte, but people's reactions to it, because I did everything in my power to avoid everything before yesterday's review. Hadn't seen a trailer, hadn't read any articles, hadn't watched any reviews. Once I saw stuff like on Twitter, I'd purposely go away from it. Yesterday, I opened up those floodgates after the review. Oh man, this one. Oh yeah, that's. So I tell you, and man, it's like they gave these guys talking points. You know how they give politicians
Right, because they all say the exact same thing.
I noticed that from Chato. He brought up the hair. Nerdrotic brought up the hair. Critical Drinker, I believe, brought up the hair. Like I didn't even notice the damn hair. First of all, their hair is different. By the way, when I went back,
yeah, they're different cuts. They're the same basic style, but they're different cuts.
Yeah. So after I went back and I watched all this, I went back and I watched the episode, just the first one.
Yeah, May's hair is longer.
Yeah, May's hair is much longer. Which is why OSHA's wearing that cloak when she's talking to the crackhead guy,
right?
To kind of cover the fact that her hair is short.
And one thing, by the way, that my wife pointed out, because I told her people were criticizing them about having the exact same hairstyle, and she says, "Well, when we saw them as little girls, they had the same hairstyle. Why wouldn't they just keep that hairstyle going?"
Maybe, yeah. So, like, at least it's almost like they're looking for shit to hate. But the biggest talking point I noticed is so again, you guys go to supportsalty.com if you want to see somebody enjoying new Star Wars. Watch the first 6 minutes.
Okay, so since Stan Lee brought this up, let me address this real quick before we and I know this is another one that a lot of people made fun of, is that people get stabbed in the chest by a lightsaber and recover, but they get hit with a throwing knife and drop dead.
But it looks like the chest, but the lightsabers were like not.
First of all, let me say this. That's not a butter knife, okay? Let's be real. That was a thick blade, and it went deep.
It's a throwing dagger, went right into her heart.
Right. So as the problem is not with this show. The problem is all the people on the other shows that survived a lightsaber to the chest.
Yeah.
So don't bitch on this show because someone died from a knife wound when in other shows that were poorly done, people survived getting impaled by a laser sword.
And Brian brings up a good point. The laser sword also does cauterize the wound, but still.
Technically, yeah, but if it goes right through your chest, come on.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But no, you're making an excellent point. Just because they screwed up in other shows and they get it right in this one doesn't mean belittle this one because of it.
Yeah.
And
that is 100% correct, Randall, is that you're, what was his name? The guy from The Naked Time killed himself with a butter knife on TOS. Yeah,
that had to hurt.
Yeah.
Brian, you go to Twitter or X, x.com/ right here, Dork Knight LV, takes you to my page. I don't think you have to follow me to message me. If you do, just follow me and then a little envelope will pop up and click on that. But I don't think you have to follow me to do that. And then just say hi in there and then I'll reply and I'll get your info, mail you your stuff. So thanks.
And Stan, that might be inconsistent across the franchise, but it's not inconsistent within this show.
Yeah. So
I try to judge each show on its own merits.
Yeah. I did want to get back to what I saw was kind of the biggest talking point because Mr. Know-It-All, the guy that I talked to you about, had this gripe. Critical Drinker had this gripe. Dave Cullen had this gripe. Chato had this gripe. All of these reviews that I watched. Blaine from Criticalist in his review had this gripe. The gripe is, this is not what was sold to us. We were told we were going to get this, but instead we got that. I saw this in the trailer and the blah, blah, blah. All these expectations.
Do you remember what they were saying?
Blah, blah.
Because
we're supposed to be getting the story of we're not supposed to be seeing so much Jedi. This is supposed to be the Sith origin or blah. I don't know. Point is I didn't have any expectations going in. I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't see the trailers. I didn't read anything. I didn't see all the ridiculous clips that I have since seen where these idiots doing the press tour don't know fuck all about Star Wars, which is whatever. They're actors,
that's another problem.
That's a totally separate thing.
Yeah, because
as far as watching this show, if everybody had the experience I had coming into this, I think they would all sing a different. Well, I could be naive, but I think they'd all sing a different tune if they were
Brian
honest.
says he doesn't have X, so to give the prize to someone else.
If they were honest with themselves. Brian, if you have Instagram, same handle on Instagram. If not, go to my YouTube page, click contact. It'll reveal my email address. Just email me. I'll do it that way.
So I didn't hear so much of the bait and switch argument. There's a ton of stuff about
All of them brought it up. Blaine's video review brought it up. Mr. Know-It-All's video review. Both those two for sure I know brought it up because I remember thinking,
But
wow.
I want specifics. I want them to tell me, okay, this is what I was expecting based on the trailer, and this is where they didn't deliver. And keep in mind, this is only the first 2 episodes. So if you're upset because we haven't seen the origin of the Sith, we're only 2 episodes in. And we start out by introducing us to the universe that we're familiar, and then we move into the Sith story.
I'm not trying to say, oh my God, this is going to save Star Wars. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is criticisms of this from what do you call them? The fandom menace?
Yeah. Well, I guess they're the red pill crowd now, according to Alex.
Whoever. These guys that I mentioned by name, who I do respect, and I in real life get along with these guys when we chat outside of the YouTube sphere. It feels like they're letting outside, like they're not just analyzing or viewing this show as the show for what it is. They're letting all these outside things. I don't care about the bitch or the woman that made this. I just don't. I don't care if she's a queer or has a cast her wife as the Green Lady. I mean, okay, like I mean, even a critical drinker brings up, James Gunn does the same thing with his brother. I mean, I don't care about their political points of views or the fact the girl that plays Osha stupidly said in an interview that that the goal was to make white people cry, or that Star Wars is gay now, or all these stupid things these people are saying in interviews. None of that shit should matter as to whether, if you watch this in and of itself, the first episode anyway, I would argue is a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. And had they not killed Trinity, I probably would be blowing this first episode. I would be loving it.
Right.
And I don't think now there's a lot wrong with this show, especially with episode 2. Episode 2 is way worse. I'd probably give episode 2 5.5 to be nice. But it's not, I mean, and I haven't seen 3 and 4, and I understand that, Chris Gore and Film Thread have seen 3 and 4, and that other people reviewing out there, like your Dan Merles and your Christian Harloffs have seen it, but I haven't,
Right. We're small fry. We don't get early screeners.
I'm seeing this as you guys are seeing it, and I think it was advantageous for me to have gone into this completely nothing. I had no clue what I was getting into.
This is a splendid example of why I tell people don't watch interviews.
Yeah.
Don't watch the behind the scenes drama. Don't watch all the crap, because
or at least do like I did. Wait till after you formulate your own opinion without letting these outside things influence.
I don't care about the fact that the director is gay, like you said. It doesn't matter. But everybody was making such a big deal out of it, and you know what? The problem is that completely validates when the actors and producers talk about the toxic fandom. Because if you're going to bitch about the fact that the director is queer and is drawing upon her life experiences when directing, well, guess what? Every director draws upon their life experiences when they're directing.
And newsflash, people, Hollywood's been filled with gay people forever. They're just allowed to flaunt it now. I mean, so get over it. Just look at hey, Brian, I just got your email. I'll reply to you. Thanks, man. So look at the piece of art for what it is. Separate the art from the artist. Watching this again, shocker, I actually enjoyed the episode more the second time because
I did as well. I watched it with my wife.
I knew Trinity was going to die, so I didn't have that to piss me off. Mm-hmm. And I actually enjoyed it more the second time. I didn't watch the second episode a second time, just the first one. So I don't know what all, if the third episode, is terrible as people are saying, apparently that's where it supposedly goes really woke. We'll see. Then fine, I'll be honest about it. But right now, all I can do is be honest. I'm not going to recite or regurgitate what clearly seem like talking. Are these guys all on like some private message board where they're like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to, here are our talking points. Like, get it out.
Yeah, I don't know why
it almost feels
they're
like
so well coordinated with this. And the other thing that, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, is things like the fire in space thing. I get that.
Ooh,
that's
Mr. Know-It-All. I should play his clip for you. He kind of had. I would have loved to see you to talk about that because you gave a good explanation that kind of sold me on why I can forgive it. But he gave a really good explanation also as to why it was bad. So,
but here's the problem.
Those are fun conversations to be
Show
had.
me an action sci-fi movie that doesn't have fire in space.
Well, he wasn't just talking about just the fact that it was fire. He was talking about, and when I watch it, you see it. It's the way that it's, from.
Oh, I know. It looks more like a campfire than a explosion kind of fire. But if you look at,
speaking of Carrie Ann Moss doing some stunt casting here, this is another good. Brian's got the great questions today. Can you see this one?
Is there any famous actor you would like to see in the Star Wars universe? Honestly, I don't care as much about who is in the movie as if the writing is more important right now. That's what Star Wars.
Something like I kept bringing up the Drew Barrymore thing. Another big one, Deep Blue Sea. Samuel L. Jackson didn't see that coming. Middle of a monologue.
Oh yeah, when the shark got him. Yeah.
So I'm thinking. He's talking about stunt casting, kind of like Carrie Ann Moss, like that. Like, let's narrow it down to that. Just pick a famous actor, hasn't been in Star Wars properties yet, that you'd like to see stunt cast to get killed quickly. Like, oh my God, this will be so awesome. And then, boom, they kill him. I already got mine. And I bet somebody in the chat can guess it. Maybe not, but maybe.
Because the problem is people I think of have already either been in Star Wars or...
Okay, can I give you mine then?
Yeah, go ahead.
William Shatner. Have a minute for just like not even 60 seconds and then kill his ass off. That'd be hilarious.
That would be good.
Yeah. Something like that. Still nothing?
I'm looking for a specific image here.
Oh, wow, Socks. What's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Oh, and he's in my channel, too. Cool. Thanks for stopping by, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see what he says here. The Geeks and Gamers crew and Valiant Renegade and WDW Pro just lie and take things out of context with Disney constantly. I'm quoting somebody here. It's not necessarily my opinion.
Well, no.
So they can get clicks for their channels and super chat money. They are definitely catering to the majority of people, which are haters, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on that, Salty?
No. I think that's the problem. That's what it boils down to is that, all these guys, Geeks and Gamers, Nerderotic, Doomcock, all these guys.
I mean, Kirk kind of wrestled in a couple
They built their channels on this negativity about the destruction of our childhood franchises. And so they...
That would be hilarious to see
seriously,
John Cena get killed.
Are you just not going to let me finish a sentence?
I mean, the chat's more interesting to talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Never mind then.
Oh.
What? You don't want to let me talk, so...
Did I hurt your feelings?
Yes.
I apologize.
Well, apology not accepted.
I get why Thomas says he's ignoring. I'll start ignoring you guys so I can let him talk. I'm sorry. Sorry, I miss Jason. We need the referee. Settle down, Danny. Okay. Continue, Jason. Or Michael. Continue, Michael. I'm portraying Jason.
All right, here we go. I am, let's see, screen share.
Alex, what's that got to do with bribing him to watch more Star Trek? You got money on these upcoming Euro soccer games or something? Or are you going to them in person?
Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, people. Yeah,
And
exactly.
everybody loves this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this isn't even the worst scene. The really bad one is where the ship is broken in half and you see every deck is on fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't say everybody loves Starship Troopers, but this is a really good example of.
Yeah. And they just don't stop.
Testify, Socks. Testify. That's, we encourage friendly debate here at Nerd Fights. Yes.
Anyway, these guys, they built their channels on this negativity and hatred. And so if they, if the acolyte turns out to be good, they don't dare admit that, because if they do, then they lose their brand. They have to say how, because everything has to be this leftist assault on our franchises where they're trying to force particularly feminism, but the whole woke agenda into our stuff. Well, and so now, people like, notice how many times in Critical Drinker's video does he say strong female character?
He said it quite a bit, yeah.
Yes.
In fact, he says strong female character A meets strong female character B, and he did.
Well, here's my problem, and this is why it's so disrespectful. And when I say disrespectful, I'm not talking about to the producers of the show, but to the art itself. Because to the art form itself, he will not even address the characters by their name. He will simply say, throughout the entire review, the character you see on screen, he addresses as strong female antagonist, and strong female Jedi. Those are the two. He never calls them by name.
Yes.
He then calls Osha strong female character number 1, and that Padawan strong female character number 2.
Yeah.
And so, and then he refers to Yord as dumb man or something like that,
So I was watching listening,
and then the other guy was Squid Game's man.
Yeah. He was very dismissive of the.
So you know what? And people say, "Oh, Critical Drinker's so insightful," and because he's a published author. F the guy. If he no,
that's your opinion. That ain't my opinion.
If he can't look, I'm sure he's a fun guy and everything, and I've enjoyed a lot of his videos. But if he can't even write a halfway decent review without inserting fart jokes and woke jokes every 10 seconds.
Wow, you're one to talk about
nothing
fart jokes.
To fucking say. You know what? How many fart jokes have I thrown into today's stream? How many?
Like me, you can learn. Right on. All right.
No, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But the problem is that's all he's got. If you look at Critical Drinker, if you try to actually look at Critical Drinker's reviews, all he does is stick his finger in the wind as far as what the rest of the Red Pill gang is saying, and then
is that really what they're called, or are we coining this phrase?
I don't know if we're coining it or not. I'm just going by what Alex called it. Anyway, he sticks his finger in the wind, figures out what direction the wind's blowing, and then throws in a few clips of British TV shows of people farting and saying it smells like shite, and then calls it a day. It is the laziest form of reviewing I've ever seen.
Well, hey man,
all of his reviews are the same
thing. Right?
I know all of his reviews are the same damn thing. Yeah, and Thomas, very good. Yes, the governor of California is a published author. Not that Critical Drinker is anything like him, but being an author doesn't make you an expert. Yeah.
Hey, I don't feel comfortable with this becoming the Critical Drinker.
I know, but Critical Drinker is the one that really rubbed me the wrong way on this one.
Oh man, don't watch Dave Cullen. And I had to stop watching his.
Yeah, I'm going to because I want to see what he said, but I couldn't even sit through Nerdrotic. I'm done with him.
Shadows was funny. He did the gimmick where he's like the executive, and you don't hear the other side of the conversation. He's talking on the phone, and he makes a lot of good, funny jokes that make sense. But I don't think it's fair to this show. There's a lot of. It's almost like how Last Jedi hurt Solo. They're just letting all the previous stuff. They're not giving this a fair shake, in my opinion. Now,
well, they're
episode
just
3 and 4 might suck. I don't know, but based off what I've seen, You know, it's
It's
not
hatred directed at the director of this project. It's oh my gosh, we have a lesbian who wants to insert some of her life experience into this story, and therefore it's bad. And I get it that it's, you know, is this the best Star Wars ever? Of course not. You know, neither of us are saying that because we haven't watched the whole series yet.
I'll tell you this. The first 6 minutes of this episode, I can't encourage people enough. In fact, I wish if you send me the first 10 minutes of our thing so I can clip it out. If you watch the first 6 minutes of this episode,
Oh, it's freaking awesome.
it was, yeah, we enjoyed it. It was, you know, sure, it goes downhill from there, but there's a lot to be said about starting off with a bang. And I think the show did it. Now, if it can, you know, sadly, it might have peaked in the first 6 minutes, and that'll be it. And I'll say that if it is the case. But
I do think it's funny though that these people that like they're acting like the fight choreography is so horrible in this, and it's like, have you ever seen a martial arts film that involves someone who is a true master? You know, because that's what these fight scenes look like. These fight scenes look like a nobody going up against a master.
yeah, this one here and the one later was Saul in the episode. Those were I enjoyed the hell out. I hope we get more of that. To be honest, that's what my problem. Like, I want more of that. You know,
Yeah. And yeah, if we could, and it's a different kind of fighting. We've never seen an unarmed person try to take down a Jedi, which was really interesting.
Yeah. This is hold up, it moved on me. This is something you and I are not going to agree on. I already know, but I'm loving these questions from Brian.
What Star Wars movie or series had the best ending ever? That's tough. I mean, the original Star Wars is a classic. You just end it with everybody literally taking a bow.
Mine. I got my knee jerk answer, and I know it's like your least favorite. Or
Well, you could probably say Empire.
Rogue One, man.
Oh, Rogue One was garbage.
See, I told you, I fucking love the ending of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Vader. I understand now why Vader's so pissed at the beginning of A New Hope. It makes sense. He's like, bitch, I know you're lying to me. I just killed 20 of your people chasing, you know, like I love Rogue One.
I know, but I thought Rogue One was okay as a movie, but it was completely unnecessary. And by the way, all you people bitching about fire in space, what about Vader's freaking cape blowing in the wind?
You brought that up yesterday. So
but it pisses me off.
What's your best ending ever, in your opinion, to Star Wars? Movie or series, he says.
You know, I'd probably have to say Return of the Jedi, because it had a feeling of absolute completion to the story. I felt like, okay, I've been through 3 movies with these people and the story is over. And I don't need more, you know. And so if Return of the Jedi was the last Star Wars product ever made, Star Wars would still be remembered as one of the best film franchises of all time.
Thomas is saying Episode 3, When the Empire Comes to Power. Aravic is also saying Episode 3. I think before Rogue One came out, I would have agreed with you guys, but I just love that ending of Rogue One so much. I just like Vader. That 60
really?
seconds
Why?
with Vader.
Okay, so Thomas, I understand, because Thomas feels like Palpatine did nothing wrong.
Super chat.
But why would you say Episode 3? That doesn't make any sense to me. Resistance is Futile says, best ending, Marva's speech, more effective than rallying people to stand up, being more effective than Luthen insidious methods.
I
assume that's Andor, because
Andor,
you mentioned
yes.
Luthen.
Yes.
Andor was a complete waste of time. All Andor does is justify the Empire did nothing wrong.
Hey, you know what, Creep? If that's true, then for once focus groups were right. Best thing they ever did in that movie was that last 60 seconds with Vader, in my opinion. So good.
Yeah, and so if your movie is saved by a cameo, what does that say? You know, like, for example, if we walk away from this series saying that scene with Carrie Ann Moss was the only really great thing about the series, then the series will have failed.
Oh, totally. I'm fully prepared for that to be the case, to be honest.
But I'm just saying. So I would say the same thing about Rogue One. Was the Vader scene effective? Sure. But does that make up for the 2+ hours of crap that we got before it? In my opinion, no.
So, okay. I don't know anything about this. Do you? And if so, can you educate me?
The Hedlund-Weinstein connection.
Yeah, because this is something external that I guess affects the show that I don't know about.
I don't know. But you know
don't
what?
know either? Okay.
Here's the thing, Daniel. Look, if she has a beef with Harvey Weinstein's whole thing, or she was involved with that, I don't care. I really could not care less, because that's all that behind the scenes BS that people get obsessed about and say something is good or bad that has nothing to do with what you're looking at.
Thank you, by the way, for using that phrase correctly. For those of you out there, it's not I could care less. It's I could not or couldn't care less.
Right.
It's a big pet peeve of mine. People F that up all the time.
Right. So if, for example, if you're going to judge a movie based on the political opinions of the producers, why the heck do any of you like Star Trek Picard? Because Patrick Stewart is a leftist lunatic. But, you know,
I've been saying this the whole show. Separate the art from the artist, man.
Right.
I can get down to Thriller. I can't get down with Michael Jackson touching kids. I can differentiate between the two. I can compartmentalize. You know what I mean? You know what? I Believe I Can Fly, one of the most inspirational, uplifting, motivational songs ever. The artist, you know, piece of human trash. You know what I mean? I can separate the two. You know,
I don't know anything about the artist that did that.
I Believe I Can Fly.
I know the song. I don't know.
R. Kelly.
Okay. I didn't know that was R. Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I believe I can pee. Isn't that him?
Yeah. That's yep. Peed on girls, apparently, allegedly. Maybe not allegedly anymore. He got convicted. I think he's rotting in jail, in prison. You know. Hopefully, he's getting passed around like a joint, like all those girls he trafficked.
Dude, come on now. You're getting a little bit much there.
Sorry. Stanley, there you go. You still like the Cosby Show. Yeah, exactly. You got to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, Bill Cosby may be a lech, but the Cosby Show is still a good show and had a good message for people.
Yeah.
And
you know, an annoying critic, you're right. You know, that's why Kevin Smith, every single dime, ever since the Harvey Weinstein thing happened, every single dime he makes from any movie that had to do with Weinstein, which was most of them because Miramax, he donates to, I think it's Rain or something like that. He donates it all to.
But you see, that doesn't make any sense.
Victimized women.
Sorry, you know, if they're paying me, but Weinstein was on the project, I'm not going to just automatically donate it because I'm not Weinstein.
No, Trek reviewer. If I don't believe I did that. Did I do that? What he's saying?
Yes, you kind of did, but that's all right.
Oh, well, I didn't. That was not my intention. My apologies.
But yeah, I think that the problem is, though, that Hollywood is a bunch of degenerates. All right, it really is. It is.
You're talking about people who make millions of dollars playing pretend for a living. These are not saints.
Right.
These are people who figured out how to hack the system and be eternal children and make millions of dollars for it. Fuck them. Okay.
And keep in mind, most of these people, you know, what do they do? Remember, making a movie typically is only a 6-week job. And, you know, you don't hear somebody is in, you know, 8-9 movies a year, right? That doesn't happen. No, people are in 1, maybe 2 movies a year. And then the rest of the year, they are partying excessively. And that's how you get things like Epstein Island. You know, that's how you get that kind of crap. Because you have people with way too much money and way too much time.
Just look at P. Diddy.
And the funny thing is, then they want to sit there and tell us all about the evils of capitalism and how CEOs make too much money.
Yeah, you know what blows my mind is how everybody, all these, you know what? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Never mind.
What?
I'll just start ranting about how these sick fucks influence people politically when they're like the worst humans on earth. You go ahead. You let these people tell you. You let John Cusack. I don't care how good he is in Gross Point Blank, or you let Patrick Stewart, or you let all these you know, Mark Hamill, all these libtards. You let them tell you what to do, and you listen to them. You eat that shit up. These guys are sucking Satan's cock for a living. Okay.
I think that's a bit much.
I told you not to get me started. I did warn you.
But yeah, I do think though that there's a certain level of, I mean, because the whole idea, like when you say, you know, what good is it if you have the world and all it costs is your soul? These people have no soul.
Yeah.
They are, you know, they basically are completely lost in a sea of gluttony and greed.
In fact, I mean, there are rare exceptions. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but supposedly nobody has a single bad thing to say about Keanu Reeves, for example. So,
right. But there are some nice guys in Hollywood, but they are very few and far in between. You know, like
look at that. There you go. That's a nicer way to say what I was trying to say.
The
Dr.
Lucifer
Scotty.
live tour.
Yeah. They're in the front row for it. Yeah.
But you know, the funny thing is, it's like everybody was freaking out over Harvey Weinstein, and yet the term casting couch has been around as long as there have been movies.
Cocaine is God's way of telling you you're making too much damn money.
But yeah, I mean, because if you go back to old movies from the 40s and 50s, you'll see jokes about the casting couch. And so why was anybody shocked by Harvey Weinstein's behavior? The answer is nobody was, because most of the people that were all applauding the idea of locking him up were the same people that were sleeping with him before he got caught.
How did we get onto this? Somebody asked, "What's the connection?"
Because
neither of us know.
This is the kind of
somebody
crap.
in the
Okay.
chat tell us what the connection is with Harvey Weinstein? Because that's, I think it was Daniel brought it up. Yeah, it was Daniel that brought it up.
Yeah. Oh, because you did say libtards is what you were calling these people.
Are we avoid? Yeah. So Daniel, could you explain it? Because neither of us apparently know what this is. So anyway.
But all of that, rolls around to, okay, so all these people are freaking evil for the most part, with a few exceptions. And so, but what I'm concerned about is how good is their art? You know, when I go to Disney Plus and I turn on the show, is it entertaining? I'm not sitting here worried about whether or not someone said something in an interview I would find offensive.
Look, if you were really gonna be that way, you wouldn't watch anything. Nobody is. I mean, I don't care what you watch. Somebody involved in that make believe scenario, that make pretend for an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, you're watching something. Somebody there did some dirty shit. You know what I mean? Just
okay. I do vaguely remember that, Daniel. So yes, the woman, the showrunner.
Remember what? Okay.
The showrunner was Harvey Weinstein's secretary.
So what?
Yeah.
What's that?
You know what? And she was probably totally cool with what he was doing.
Oh, is that what the problem is?
You know, so what? I mean, but that has nothing to do with the quality of the show. You know? And
or maybe she's just a dirty, ugly lesbian he never hit on, and she probably thought he was the nicest guy on earth.
Dude, come on.
Smelly, dirty lesbian?
Dude, stop.
Man-hating dyke?
Danny, when are you going to learn? Do you have no filter?
I'm self-filtering right now.